Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new Speak Life show. This show is called Speak Life Expressions, and we're going to be talking to Connecticut artists. And I have a special guest today that I would love to welcome to the Speak Life family. He is James Norkawich, and he was nominated as Best New Artist for 2022 by The Advocate. Welcome, James.
Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
Great, great. I was reading through your website and I was really impressed by all the really wonderful works that you have there and all the newspaper articles and clippings and all the artists that you've worked with. I would like for you, I know you were born right here in Connecticut in Bridgeport. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the music industry?
Well, at a very young age, I kind of showed that I wanted to get into music at the age of about 3, and then uh, just like any child wanting to learn more, I um, I begged my parents. I'm like, okay, I want to take lessons. So about the age of 7 or 8, started taking lessons, and then as the formative years began, started on organ and then went to piano, back to organ, back to piano again. And
Mhm.
then through my high school years, I was very blessed and very fortunate to be in a after school program in the arts called Regional Center for the Arts, which is part of your high school day. You went to the University of Bridgeport, and basically you earned college credits, and you had a real world environment in which you were able to learn music, jazz theory, jazz composition, as well as a MIDI class, which is now considered, writing music through the computer.
Oh,
But
yes.
back 30 years ago, it was it was in its infancy, but it's
Yes.
more the staple now. And through that program and through that intensive training, it led to a scholarship at the University of Bridgeport, and then my post grad work. And then pretty much after that, a long tenure of doing everything from studio work to working with industry professionals to writing, composing, and just creating music for everyone to enjoy and hear.
Well, that is a wonderful story. Just a kid starting off with a passion to play piano and just having that opportunity just through the school to get into an accelerated arts program turns you into somebody who is nominated for Best New Artist. And that sounds like something that might not have happened if you didn't have that opportunity after school. Is that the case?
Totally. I mean, this program, Regional Center for the Arts, was introduced to me and to my sophomore year, and uh, why it plays such a pivotal role. You're working with industry professionals, you're working with professors, people who are actively involved in the music industry or performing in the music industry or doing both.
Mhm.
And it is done by audition, and it requires that you put in the time, and you you
Yeah.
you put in the hard work. And since the program was funded by the individual towns in the state of Connecticut, was a very rigorous, um want to say, rubric to follow,
Mhm.
because they could only accolade so much money per student to be in this program. So
Right.
if you made it in, and you really really worked as hard as you possibly could, you got the full benefit of the program.
Yeah, that's a wonderful opportunity. Are those programs still available? Say if there's a young child or maybe even a middle school or high school student watching right now, Are those programs available?
They still are. Here's the beauty of it. In 19, I can't believe this is, but 1991, 92, it still was in the infancy period.
Hmm.
So, they were essentially operating the program out of university facilities. Now, from the work that we've done, and when I say we, there was a dance program at
Hmm.
Regional Center adjacent with the music program, and when that program was finished around 95, 96, they wanted to re-resurrect it, and Cooperative Education Services in Trumbull built a beautiful 10 or $13 million facility.
Wow.
And so if you're in a public school in Fairfield County, you can go to your guidance counselor, your administrator, and say, hey, I'm a dancer, I'm a musician, I would like to pursue something other than what's being offered in my current curriculum. And this program is available, and it's an amazing facility to see if you actually get a chance, because um, I mean, even if you're not a musician, they actually now offer drama, they offer sound engineering, so they offer the whole performance battery, which is just it's
Wow.
mind blowing.
So you could get into any part of show business or the arts, classical, pop, anything through this school program?
Sure. And there's a lot of students now. Everybody has a different skill set, so
Mhm.
some have years of training, some have very, very limited amounts of training.
Yeah.
And what's great is that you have a whole support staff there at Regional Center for the Arts, and they will get you. I mean, it's like any program; it works if you work it, But
Yeah.
that, you know, it's great. It's great to really they're the work that they do is more than you're going to get out of your. I hate to say that, it's an added bonus to your the curriculum at your school, but often
Yeah.
the resources at most schools, they don't, to get the teachers, and to uh, get the whole curriculum down that you need. It gets tough, and
Yeah.
that's why a school like this is something that is just second to none. And probably three-quarters of the students that go on uh, to this program end up going to four-year colleges in the arts.
Wow. That is really impressive. And for kids, especially kids who might not have that kind of opportunity, and they might not see people just going out and succeeding like that. That's
Well,
something that can make your dreams come true.
that's another thing too. As we know, everyone comes from different backgrounds and comes from
Mhm.
different um, economic, social, different households. And this type of program doesn't discriminate against anyone. It again, whether you come from the east side of Bridgeport, or you come from Monroe or Trumbull or Fairfield, everyone has an equal say. And what's great is you're all having the same communication about the same thing, whether it be music, whether it be dance, whether it be drama. And when you have a conversation, you start speaking with your peers. Start to begin to create, and you begin to think, hey, wait, I have a say. I can make a difference. I can do
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
that's the most important thing, even
That's
after
wonderful.
these COVID times.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a wonderful opportunity and something for kids with talent and drive to really take advantage of. Now, I know that you have a lot of knowledge about the music scene in Connecticut. You've been here a while. Um, what would you
A little bit.
say if you had to think just a little while? What is the most interesting or least known fun fact about music in Connecticut that you think people might not know?
Well, during the 30s and 40s, and Bridgeport. I'm born and raised, and Bridgeport is making a resurgence in terms of the arts and just everything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like it was when I was growing up, but during the 30s and 40s, a lot of the old rundown theaters, downtown Bridgeport, were the entertainment hubs of artists that were before we were like kind of the last stop before you went to New York,
Right.
because don't forget, we there wasn't a quite a structured highway system. It was all train,
Right.
and we had, yes, you had cars, but the amount of artists that came through Bridgeport and Fairfield County, and and
Name a couple artists that came through Connecticut for us in the 30s and
well,
40s.
one big one during the big band era was, of course, Benny Goodman. And
Hmm.
Benny Goodman is buried in Stamford Cemetery, I believe.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And of course, in addition to P.T. Barnum, and of course, P.T. Barnum was our mayor. You had artists, if of course, the day the music died, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and Buddy Holly, they had performed in Bridgeport. Jimi Hendrix performed in what is Central High School, the the football field. Janis Joplin. I mean,
Wow.
all these artists were actually here, and this was the hub for performance, and to be seen. Like I said, these artists were.
Wouldn't it be great to bring that back again to Connecticut to make Connecticut like really an art hub? And I think we have the talent. I think we have the locations. I think that would be great.
We do, and
Um,
now and very quickly, now more than ever, you know, um, there is so much for artistic expression. I
mhm.
mean, people are really, really wanting something more and something
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
and we kind of got to get back to basics.
So I know that you're somebody who has worked with a lot of groups. Another fun question I have for you is what would you say is the most well known or the most fun or exciting group that you have worked with?
Wow, loaded question. I would have to be Tower of Power. They were a group I had the privilege of working with for a short period of time.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, lots of members of the band in and out of Connecticut themselves, but to be able to have those experiences and learn from these people who you listen to, growing up, and then have the chance to play with them. Also, another experience. A lot of wedding bands, but and other studio work through the Carriage House in Stanford. Yeah,
Hmm.
working with individual artists, such as Paul Nelson, who's, I think he's been on Guitar Magazine over 20 or 30 times. You know,
Hmm.
uh, it just you you try not to focus on it, when you're in the moment,
Yeah.
but
You don't want to get
when you,
starstruck with your own stars,
yeah,
right?
you don't want a fan, you don't want to be the fangirl, but it's like, when you get that.
But now you're the nominated for the best new artist, so people can be starstruck by you. So that's something to think about too. And I know that you are super accomplished, and you have a number of different instruments that you play. What is your favorite, or what's the instrument you do the most work with?
Of course, it's the piano. I'm an organist by trade, so the
Hmm.
Hammond, I would probably default to the Hammond B3. I'm also
Mhm.
endorsed by him, and which is a nice little
Wow.
side note.
Yeah. That is
Um,
really great.
and of course, once you, I've always said this to anyone who's ever asked. It's like if you play one instrument, you end up finding yourself, and especially during COVID, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I need a bass player, so I guess I'm gonna have to do it. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
you
you've
have to
got
learn.
to you well, I think having the piano as a bass instrument is really helpful. It just helps you to know a little bit more about music. So I think that was great. And I just want to brag for you a little bit too. I understand you had a Christmas album out that was Grammy nominated.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank
And it
you.
was called Christmas in Connecticut. What a great title for an album. Um, I'm going to go ahead and play a little piece from that album, okay? Are
Awesome.
you ready? Okay,
Sure.
let's go. Wow. That
Not too
was
shabby.
amazing. Yes, I can see why this album was Grammy nominated. That was Carol of the Bells. I guess probably most people recognize that, but that was just lovely.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. So, where can people get your album if they would like to get this Christmas album?
It's available on all streaming services. Probably Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. Those are generally the most easiest. And what's
Okay.
great is that with Spotify is that if you can download the album or you
Uh
can
huh.
just simply stream it. So you can listen to
Oh,
it over and over and over and over again and put it on your playlist for the holidays.
Oh, that is wonderful. I would definitely listen to that song over and over. It's a spectacular rendition. Very, very
Thank you.
nice. So that is Christmas in Connecticut, or Connecticut
Right.
Christmas, right?
Right.
Okay, by James Norkawich. Okay, so if you want to go on
Correct.
Spotify or Amazon, see if you can get that album. It's wonderful. Um, and there's another tune that I heard is very beautiful, very uplifting, and it's about somebody named Peter. Can you tell
Yes.
me who Peter is?
Yes. Peter is my cousin. You know how this song all came about when I was just going into high school.
Hmm.
My cousin Peter is a musician as well,
Uh-huh.
and it was one afternoon. I'd gone over to his home, and he put an album on by Spyro Gyra. And
Oh,
the quick story behind it is that he said, "You've got to listen to this album. It's going to change your life." And not knowing or maybe foreshadowing. However, after I graduated college, I played with Spyro Gyra,
oh
and
wow. That was like prophetic, actually.
exactly,
Yeah.
and and still to this day, he's been an inspiration, and of course, we come from the same genetic core, so um, you know, just his thoughts and ideas have he's just an amazing person to me,
Well,
and
it's
so
great to have family like that.
I'm very blessed. I'm my we there's all sorts of musical and all kinds of talent in family, but um, he really was just there during those formative years. Of course, with my
Mhm.
parents and my younger
Yeah.
sister, and my grandfather who would play organ by ear.
Oh,
So,
wow. So
but
you got genetic music. You got music in your genes.
oh God, yeah, it's a blessing, and some days it's a curse because that soundtrack that plays over and over in your head. You just you've got a song in there, and you got it locked in. It's like it's a great creative process. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but sometimes
Well,
when you're tired and you want to fall asleep, you're still thinking of a whole
oh,
playlist. So
you have a
uh,
little notebook by your bed writing down all your ideas.
exactly, totally.
So let's hear this song. It's a beautiful song. I loved it.
Okay.
Well, let's show it to the audience. And this is a song for Peter. Wow, I can just hear the love for your family coming through on that very sentimental music. But the love that you have for your family isn't the only love that you have. I understand that you used your music to reach out to help others who were displaced and hungry and hurting during the Ukraine conflict, and that you were working with something called One World Kitchen. And I have a piece that you used to help people in Ukraine. Can you tell me just a little bit about that and then we'll play it?
Sure. I turned on the television, had my morning cup of coffee, and saw what was going on. You say, okay, I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, normally, what I would have done is wrote the music first, and then did the video, do a video.
Mhm.
So I did the video, and I'm like, this is great because I wanted to show what the Ukraine looked like before the whole entire conflict actually took place.
Yeah.
So to show its beauty, to give the people some hope, and show that the people have resilience. And so going down to my studio, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and nothing I could compose actually worked. And I jokingly started playing Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And I'm like, this is just absolutely, this is it. I love this.
Yeah.
So I put it on social media, and unbeknownst to me, a vocalist by the name of Ellen Williams, she's the #1 selling vocalist on iTunes. She is an amazing, amazing vocalist. It's such an honor that she wanted to be part of this, and to be able to raise money to help other people, to help people feeding other
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
and to tell the story of the Ukrainian people.
Yeah.
When you see this video and you hear her voice embellished on top of my my artistry, it's amazing that we're 4,000 miles across, but what you can do when you put your mind to it and work together.
Great. Let's listen to that now.
Now I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, a beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair, she broke your throat, she cut your hair, and from the lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, baby, I've been here before. I know this I've done my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of song with nothing on my tongue but
Wow, that was really, really emotional, really emotional song. How can people contribute to this?
They can go to wck.org, and they have a donate button on there.
Okay,
you-
wck.org.
Correct.
And that
And
will
they-
all go to feeding people displaced by war in the
Correct.
Ukraine.
Right. And they, Jose Andres, he's, if you watch the cooking programs,
Mhm.
Food Network, they go where there's a crisis or where there's a need.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the work that they do is absolutely amazing. And that's why
Wonderful.
we had to do something. And
Yeah.
you can't top anything like that. That was literally a year ago.
Yeah. Wow. Time flies. So, just one last question for you.
Sure.
I'm wondering, what does music, what does art, what does it mean to you when you think about it?
Well, outside of the obvious being, our way to express, our way to create, it is our life force. It is who we are. I always say that music is the soundtrack of our lives, and even if you're not listening to the radio or listening to streaming music or whatever the case may be, there's some facet of music that's in your everyday life that has changed you, or it brings you back to a place in time where you can, remember a good memory, a bad memory. And, music and the arts are our greatest ways of self-expression, for our own personal growth, for, our own mental health. I think that, it's key that, whenever we get lost, we can write down our thoughts. We can play our thoughts down. We can paint our thoughts. We can, whatever the emotion we're feeling at that given time, we have an outlet to do so. And we need to kind of circle back and get away from the cell phones and everything else, and start to be creative and start to create and start to listen to one another again.
Yeah. Beautifully said. How can people find your website? Can you give people the website where they can find your information?
Sure. It's www. It's jamesanorkawich.com. Now I know it's a little long, but it's James ANORKAWICH.com, and I'll be updating things as you go. And pretty much, if you Google, just Google my name, you'll be able to find all all the social media stuff and everything else that's connected. So if you are connected, you can see what's going on, what's happening, and how you can get involved if you'd like to get involved.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks for being a part of the inaugural Speak Life Expressions broadcast.
Thank you very much.
So that was James Norkawich, amazingly talented musician, multifaceted, and Grammy nominated, and also nominated for the Best New Artist in 2022. So look him up if you can. And we're very happy to welcome him to the Speak Life family. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of him as he begins to help with finding the art spaces in Connecticut. And again, thank you so much for watching.